The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Stephanie Ellerholtz. This young lady started sort of Stephanie, hard to say, believe it or not, February in 2019 in Wixom, Michigan. Never been to Wixom, but it sounds lovely. They are a full service janitorial company, and she's also one of our amazing next level members. And I just wanted her to come on and share she's had a transformational experience for her business that I wanted to share with the rest of you guys so you could get some transformation yourselves. So I always like to start, Stephanie, with where were you when you reached out? Typically, people don't reach out because things are going amazing. They got struggles. They're frustrated. Their life, their business is not working the way they want it. Talk to me.
So I mainly reached out because, when you're starting a cleaning business, nobody really teaches you or tells you, what profits are supposed to be or how pricing is supposed to work. So I, in the beginning, I thought I was doing a really good job with pricing. And then I started kind of looking at my books and looking at all the spreadsheets that I had created on my own, which were not 100% organized and quite stressful. Understanding profit and pricing was the main reason I joined. But then once I started taking the classes and doing the modules, there were so many other things that I never even realized as far as like hiring and, everybody should be part-time and I had full-time employees and pretty much the systems that I thought that I had down packed, I wasn't even close to.
So with a profit, what was the biggest thing for were you not making money? Were you making money and didn't know it and you weren't confident? Were you not making money and you didn't know how? How did that all kind of unfold for you? Because there's lots of folks out there that are like, I think I'm making money. I'm not. And let me just give a quick preach and I'm going to let Stephanie share her experience. So I coach a lot of people who, most of you guys know your revenue, but when I ask profit, you don't know. And if you do know, you'll go to your P&L, your profit and loss, and read what that says. And then I go, great. Now, how much money did you actually put in your account last month? And that's a whole different number, which is oftentimes less. And you'll say something like, no, I'm putting my business is super profitable. I'm just putting a lot of it back into the business because I'm we think it's virtuous to put a bunch of money back in the business. That's really called just not being profitable, right? If you're Amazon, you've got a very specific business model of I'm going to take over the world. We've got a global thing. We're going to go public and we can have billions of dollars come in from shareholders and not have to make money ourselves. That's a different kettle of fish. But if you're a small company, if you're not taking money out, you are not profitable. Another word for money you put back into the business is called overhead. If you put it back in the business, it is not profit. And we tell ourselves, well, I'm doing fill in your blank, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever it is per month. And I know I'm not profitable or I'm not very profitable, but I'll grow and then I'll be profitable. That is a lie from the pit of hell. So I want to encourage you guys and gals, if you're not taking the money out, it is not profit. And we swing from not truth to not truth, as opposed to hitting the truth right in the middle. One not truth is I'll just take all the money out and choke my business and that'll be healthy long-term. Of course it won't. You have to, the business needs some money. Very few people do that, but then they swing to the other truth of because I don't want to know my accounting or I'm too afraid to look at my accounting, I just won't take any money out. And that'll be healthy and I'll be quote unquote, that'll be a virtuous business owner. Cause look how good I am. I'm putting all the money in the business. The right answer is you should take a specific amount out and still know what the overhead that should be left in. So you're confident about what you're leaving in. You're confident about what you're taking it out, but telling yourself I'm making a lot of money, I'm just not taking any of it, that you're not making any money. Right. And if you want to be a nonprofit, God bless, go be a nonprofit, be clean for free. But if you're a for-profit business, don't use the excuse of, I'm just not taking any money out, so I'm virtuous. What you're really saying is I don't understand my numbers. And it's really important that you understand your numbers. Okay. That said, how does that resonate with your experience, Stephanie?
So I definitely did not understand my P&L. And as a business owner, you should know those numbers.
P&L stands for profit and loss. Please continue.
Yep. And I didn't know what my revenue was. I didn't know what my profit was. I mean, when you look at the bottom of your P&L, of course it tells you that, but I mean, as far as understanding it as a business owner should, absolutely did not. And that was very frustrating for me. I would definitely, I would take out a certain dollar amount every month to pay myself, but there would be time, and I would have extra in the bank account, but there would be times where if I was buying machines or equipment, I would pay myself a little bit less, which at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like that. You should have a set dollar amount, and that should be pulled and put into your account every month. And it fluctuated. So as far as COGS, that was confusing to me.
COGS is cost of goods sold.
Correct. So COGS, I understood what COGS meant, but I didn't know the percentages that they should be, what the proper overhead should be. My overhead was always very high, and it didn't seem like I had a lot of overhead. I really didn't have an office at the time. And I have an office now, but it's not, I don't pay thousands of dollars.
Let me ask a more specific question and give another bit of feedback. Another lie we tell ourselves is, oh, I don't have that much overhead. What they mean is I don't track it, so I don't know, but I don't have any. I buy rags and that's it, like gas. And it's like, okay, so you don't have any liability insurance. So you've never bought a uniform. So you don't use a cell phone. So you don't use a car to get to and from. Well, I count gas. Okay. It never breaks down. It never needs tires. It never needs an oil change. You've never hired a marketing company. You've never bought a lead. You've never created a website. You've never, you don't have a computer, a laptop. Like, this is insane, right? Business card. So what we're really saying is, oh, I don't have any overhead. What they mean is I don't track overhead, and I'm terrified to know what it is. Another version of I don't want to do it. So all this could be coming, Stephanie, to our listeners, some of our listeners that are like, okay, Mike, or Stephanie, whoever we'll assume they're yelling at me. They like you. Fine, Mike. I know I've always known I need to track my numbers, and I've always felt guilty about it, but I've been overwhelmed and I've been scared. And now I feel even worse about it, but I don't know what the frick to do. Right. So what would you say? I'm assuming in that spot, you weren't not tracking your numbers because you're a smart gal. If you really wanted to figure out, you could have. I'm guessing most of it was fear. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to track. So how do you, for the people that are fearful, like you were fearful, how can you give them some encouragement and some confidence of how they could go forward without being an MBA in accounting?
I mean, me personally, I did track my P&L. I just didn't understand it. Like I didn't go to business school. I'm not an accountant. I just didn't understand them. And to be honest with you, the only way that I did, I'm still learning them. The only reason why starting to understand them is because of the modules. That's the only reason. I did actually, prior to signing up with growing my cleaning company, I had a business coach, and I had him for 1.5 years. And in that 1.5 years, I didn't learn anything. And I was like, about a month before I moved forward with you, Mike, I fired him. And I said, I'm not learning anything. And then once I started doing these modules, that's when I started to understand that. That's honestly that's how I learned them.
So let me give you guys all an encouragement. First of all, if you ever hire a business coach and they don't look at your P&L, that's a problem. Second of all, when we talk about money, there's things that people say, I'm like, and I want to kind of speak to you, Clean Nation, so you don't have to go through this. And Stephanie's just hitting all the things. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, we need to share this with Clean Nation. Another thing, and I'm just kind of telling you all the not tos, which I'm sorry, but another thing not to do, and it drives me nuts when owners say this, oh, my accountant handles that. Ask an owner, what was your revenue? And I get it if I'm like, how much did you spend on internet August last year? Like, of course, and they're like, I don't know, I have to look that up, or my account. Fine. That is an appropriate. I don't know. It's in the profit and loss, or I could ask my accountant. We're fine. What was the total amount of money to the nearest couple $1,000s your company took in last month? That's my accountant. Are you out of your effing mind? That's a great way to get robbed and stolen from. Like, that is not your accountant's job. Certainly your profit. Oh, my accountant handles that. Your accountant does not handle that. To be clear, your accountant's job should be to enter the transactions that you have, the money coming in and the dollars going out into QuickBooks for you, to prepare a report that you as the owner look at. You are responsible, because let me tell you, if your accountant doesn't pay taxes or you lose money or whatever, at the end of the day, just like with Stephanie, you might go, you're a terrible accountant, you're fired. Guess what? Whatever crap show that you just created, or that accountant helped you create in your thing, that's your crap show. They're leaving with none of that. It's not their problem. It's an insane statement to, like, how much taxes did you pay last year? Well, my CPA, my certified public accountant, handles that. Okay, that is their job. You know, how do you enter the data into QuickBooks so you have a good report? Oh, my accountant handles that. That's fine. What is on your P&L? What was your profit? What was your revenue? That is your job, owner. Like, you got to get that. Okay. So I guess the big thing I'm hearing from Stephanie, and so this doesn't sound like a big sales pitch, it doesn't have to be from us. Get the training you need to have financial literacy. And I want to, Stephanie, you said another thing that people say, I don't have an MBA. I'm not an accountant. I don't have all that stuff. Guys, gals, you need to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's it. So there's no, I don't want you to feel I got to go to school. I got to get a whatever, like trade school, right? Like you can go to 4-year college and take 6 years and cost you $200,000. I'm making this up because I don't know, but I'm guessing you can go to an air conditioning tech school for 6 to 9 weeks, and for $6,000 to $15,000 or maybe $20,000, you have a skill that you have for the rest of your life of air conditioning tech, right? So you wouldn't go, well, I don't have a master's degree in air conditioning. Of course not. You just go to a freaking trade school and you figure it out. So if you choose to reach out to someone like us for that knowledge, fine. If there's another business coach that does it, fine. I don't care where you get it, but educate yourself. And this is probably a little too much you're not going to want to do on YouTube. So not that YouTube can't help, but you probably are going to want someone paid at least for your books. And if you're the kind of guy that can get on YouTube and figure it out, then do that. But if you're the kind of person that's like, I got to be honest with myself, I won't do it. Whatever the cost to educate yourself on your own numbers, whether it's time or money or some combination, right? Because I'm guessing if you had no money and you in YouTube, you could just spend hundreds of hours figuring it out. You could probably figure it out for no money. If you're like, or I have some money, but I don't have that much time. Well, fine. Find someone that can do it for you quickly and pay them money. So whatever you're going to invest time or money, invest it, but don't say I'm not an accountant. I don't have no one's telling you have to be, you know what I'm saying? Like you tell your kid to clean his room. He's like, I don't own a cleaning business. I'm not a cleaning professional. He's like, I didn't say you were, but you can clean your daggum room. So when someone says, hey, get an understanding of your profit and your loss, basically how much money came in and how much profit is left over for you to take, for you to say, I'm not an accountant. It's like, hold on. No one's saying you need to be an accountant, but you do need to have basic. And again, how much you spent on meals and entertainment last month, it's okay not to know that. But your revenue and your profit, it's not okay not to know that. And to understand how you get it, get educated. If you want our help, reach out. If you don't, find someone less offensive and reach out to them, but get that. All right. Anything else to add, Stephanie, we kind of focused a lot on accounting. What's any other big thing that you want to share, your big takeaway, your big aha that you can distill down for Cleaning Nation?
Well, I definitely have started to change up my hiring process. I like the fact I never even thought about doing group interviews in the past. It never would have crossed my mind, but it definitely it opens up a lot more time for you. And it's definitely a lot less, it's not as stressful because you're not setting up appointments and waiting for no-shows or people who, might not be a great fit and wasting your time. So, I mean, the hiring process has definitely changed for me. I'm fairly new to it, but I definitely like the new system and process that we put in place.
All right. So let me just kind of give you the takeaways I got from that, Cleaning Nation. So first thing Stephanie said was hiring process. So, and I guess everyone has a process, but if that process is fraught with things that you hate, like Stephanie said, I don't like waiting for people that aren't going to show up. She didn't say it, but I know the truth is she didn't like going through hundreds of dozens of applications that they all suck. She didn't like having to wrangle it. So her process that she had before included a bunch of stuff that she hated, and her time wasn't leveraged. You did say, like, my time wasn't leveraged. It sucked. So obviously you can find a coach who can help you do that and have a system. Or if you're like, screw that, I just want the free podcast. God bless. That's fine. It's a free podcast. All you got to do is think through what drives you nuts and create your process that doesn't drive you nuts. So if you're like, I don't like talking to people one at a time, a group interview might be a great idea. If you're like, whatever process you have, take the parts that you don't like and replace it with, you can fix that, right? So if it's like, I don't like having a bunch of applications that I have to wade through. Great. Then just invite everyone to a group interview. And then whether they show up, if they show up, that'll be that, but you don't have to go through any of it. And well, I don't want to have to call a bunch of people. Then automate texts and emails. Well, I don't want to, have to take, I don't want to, no one wants to work and I have to pay, the only people that come in don't want to work. Get more people, right? So kind of think through the things that are bothering you with your process and systematize those out. So obviously we don't have time, we can't cover that in a podcast, but create a system that works. If you have a system that doesn't work, as opposed to just saying, well, I guess I'll just suck, create a system that does work for you. All right, Cleaning Nation. I feel like we covered kind of a lot. We kind of tagged on just the hiring. And by the way, we've done lots of podcasts on both these. If you want more of a deep dive, you can get all at growmycleaningcompany.com. I think 900 free podcasts. I would start with the free on-demand training. It's kind of the best, 40 minutes we've got that's super tight and concise and gives you all the foundational stuff that you need. And then you can adjunct with all the podcasts, but it's all there. growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now. See you there. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me, but like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share with a friend, share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. That's 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.